So, how exactly do you explain everything that's happened to Aaron?
Not it.
God damn it!
Very carefully.
Because I'll tell you right now, like her first moments of being, um, her first moments of being awake for the first time in a long time, is mostly her just trying to understand where she is, kind of how she got there.
You guys have experience with this now.
I mean, she hasn't vomited, so she's already got one up on you thus far.
Hey, 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 hey. Let's not bring that up. I know you have pictures. I told you to erase those.
I don't have pictures. There's just an indelible stain on one of the seats.
She also is not very communicative at first. Like she acknowledges your guys' existence, but when she tries to speak, like the words don't come out immediately, and then it seems like she gets confused, and then just kind of sits there and tries to comprehend.
I mean, Kyrie will patiently wait until she's ready before trying to, like...
She also squints whenever she looks at you guys. And then tries to... She squints whenever she looks at you, and then looks away as if in the same way that someone does when they accidentally look at the sun.
Ah, okay. I think I might have cottoned onto that.
I see. You can see our void energy, can't you?
She goes to try to say something, but it's like dry air coming out, and she just nods. She goes to try to stand up and falls over, and Nidus catches her.
Give it time. You've been asleep for a very, very long time. Here, let's perhaps see if...
She tries to think if there will be...
I know. I don't know what shape it will be in, but it should be... Let us try get you to the recreation room, was it?
I think I saw something back down the way. Maybe?
I know where it is. It's just a matter of... I do not know what condition it will be in.
Should when you say find her something to drink.
She just kind of shudders a little bit at the thought of the recreation room.
Do you not wish to go there? As far as we can tell, there are no longer infested aboard this station.
I'll go and see if I can find a vending machine or something.
Please do.
I think we should go take her back to where we're keeping Colin.
That too.
She's obviously in no state to wander around. And he's also in no state to wander around.
I'm just... If she wishes, I just do not wish to put her in something like a ship if she is not comfortable with it yet. She does not know who we are, after all.
I understand that, but she also doesn't know anything at the moment. And so asking her to make decisions for herself might be a little difficult.
But Yanto holds up a finger, goes, we should probably then, if that's the case, holds up his own hand. Hi, I'm Yanto. Points to Kiri.
I am Kire.
And I'm MT. And you're Aaron.
She was going to try to speak, but then nods. It takes her a moment, though, to understand that she is Aaron.
Kire nods, understanding.
We can take it as slow as you need to, but we do have your best interest in mind, and we want to get you to a safe place.
She gives you a very weak nod. Nidus picks her up.
Well, I suppose that works. She kind of looks to make sure that she is comfortable with this. She does not know if she is... Nidus clearly wants to protect her. She does not know how familiar she is with Nidus, but...
He's very soft.
Gross.
Okay. Well, if this doesn't seem to bother her, then she will nod and, yeah, I guess lead them back to where they have Colin while Yanto scrounges for some food. Because speaking of that, it's also probably, we don't know how long it's been since either of the three of us have eaten either.
Mm.
We don't really know exactly how long we were out.
Yanto finds a Pepsi machine and kicks the shit out of it until it gives up its goodies.
100-year-old Pepsi.
Oh,
probably
years?
fine.
That's what you're thinking?
Oh boy.
I just
On the-
opened the can and there's a
on the way out,
If
heading back to heading back towards the shipyard, you can stop by the rec room, or actually probably stop by the cafeteria.
Yeah, if they have some kind of food processor making like we have on the ship. Actually, something occurs to Kirei as well, that 1,000 years... Well, no. She would have still existed from the same time they're from, so they'd still speak the same, more or less the same language.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's maybe like 100-year difference between you.
Right.
Yeah. Yanto just kind of looks. If there's Twinkies, there's probably edible food.
Wasn't there not even? Didn't you establish when we were in the flashback that the Zeramon 10-0 had like already something had happened to it already?
I don't remember.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought because I asked about it to see if I thought it was when I asked.
It's ultimately not important.
I suppose that's true.
And is never really going to come up, honestly, because
either way, she didn't know who we were, and
age for the Orokin was meaningless.
Right. The people in the Orokin Empire lived a long time.
Yeah.
You're only as old as the body you forcibly inhabit.
Well,
I hate the Orokin.
Well, even beyond that, I imagine that just with the
genetic
level of
engineering
tech they had, like even humans just lived a lot longer in the Orokin Empire.
Yeah, genetic engineering, the abolishment of illness, things along those lines.
Like I imagine people very rarely die of natural causes in the Orokin Empire because you just like have cures for most just standard things.
So in the cafeteria, you do find a couple of vending machines. They take credits that are specific to the outer planet colonization project.
Huh. Well, that's cool. I have something that's existed everywhere. Calcifier's fist.
Yeah, you punch it open. Or you blend your hand through it and just kind of make a hole. And there is one thing that has survived the countless millennia that this place has been uninhabited, and that's the Twinkies.
God damn it! I knew you were gonna do that.
Fucking called
and
it.
Also the Yoo-Hoos. I'm sorry, space Twinkies and space Yoo-Hoos.
Thank you.
They've got little twirling things around them.
I don't know what they're actually going to be called in the distant, grim darkness of the Orokin Empire. But
Fucking Nuka-Cola.
Well, no, we just got to avoid the lawsuit. So it's Twonkies and it's Yoo-Hoo, but it's with a umlaut over the first U. So it's Yoo-Hoo.
Well, no, it's Yoo-Hoo, but like spelled with U's rather than O's. So it's like YUHU.
fuck's sake.
The brand new video streaming service brought to you.
So it just looks
Also,
like a-
I don't know. I'm preferable to Twankies.
Please.
Oh no! I don't want anything which has wanky in the name and has a cream filling. Especially if you say it in a northern accent. If you say it in a northern accent, that's Wankies.
Twankies.
Well, to know how hungry are you?
It'll taste about as inedible as it did the very first day it was made. So
As if
fuck it.
Twinkie is any better,
Well, you
given
eat-
what we call Twinks.
I mean,
Ah!
oh yeah, the Twerkies are the cherry flavored Twankies.
God.
Wow.
What are the Twarkies? Are they full of turkey?
We've fucking cracked open just how awful of a product this is. There's no good way.
Yeah. How hungry are you to know? Will you eat a Twanky or a Twerky?
Yanto can't speak because he's got a mouthful of Twinkie
You mean
or Twanky.
Twanky or Twerky? Those are your options.
Oh my
I'll-
gosh.
Going for a Twanky. Chasing it down with a oohoo. Yeah, so just finishes draining that, looks at himself in the reflection of the machine and goes, I have no room to judge myself. that was good and I don't fucking care who knows it. Burps loudly and carries an armful of it away.
You haven't seen Twanky since your time. These are relics. They're a corpus.
How much plaque could I sell this for?
There are corpus who would pay millions of credits for these.
Neo V2 relic.
You have a relic and it's just got fucking Twinkies in there. Some Orcan's fucking lunch.
Are you saying that I can go hungry, pocket these, and we can solve our cash flow problems forever?
Well, I think their worth is reduced since you opened the machine.
Oh, so they're not.
You
in
need
mint condition.
the mint condition of you need the entire machine.
Yeah, you need the mint condition of the machine.
Is there like a small stasis generator inside the machine that keeps them that fresh?
No, that's just how they were made.
They just don't perish.
Can I at least
Just
get a
don't
modest sum for them? Like, we are really broke.
We were so broke until we sold these 200-year-old Twankies.
Silly us.
200 years.
Silly us, we keep doing
Thousands
missions
of
that we
years.
think are important and not missions that pay us. And the one mission that was supposed to pay us didn't end up actually paying us all that much.
Oh god.
Maybe that should be your
Vintage.
next priority.
Yeah.
You're gonna get back into the.
I don't trust you won't just find ways to ensure that we remain broke no matter what we do.
I imagine I open up the pack of Twankies and there's like a congratulations, you have won 1 million credits. Offer expired 2,000 years ago. Motherfuck. Little
I'm
confetti
sorry.
shoots out the packet.
I died somewhere around imagining the corpus as the people on Pawn Stars and fucking.
Wait, what if? Are you sure? Maybe,
Oh my god! I'm just imagining like Pawn Stars starring Neff Anyo.
Clearly,
Yeah.
clearly what actually happens here is we find a platinum ticket, and we go and it invites us to the factory where they make these, and we go on a magical adventure with the long-awaiting Orican overseer who's
Wally Wanko. and
who's
his
been
magic
making
factory.
waiting years for his heir to finally arrive, the one who finds the platinum ticket.
I can't.
Now that's a sortie I want to do.
Zach, if you hadn't have said it, I was going to make a joke like that. And if you guys had stuck to the joke, I was just going to do that. But then you went and said it, and now I can't do it.
Ah. Oh god. I'm just going to find these fucking ingrates who wanted food and he's going to give them the kind of shit that is left at the gas station because everyone else has bought everything else edible.
Do you guys once Do you guys want Twankies or Twerkies?
Answer just shows up with armfuls and goes like, "Guys, I found, for want of a better word, food." His mouth is covered in ancient sugar and cream filling.
Oh God! You didn't have to eat it like an animal.
My arms were full. I may have chewed it out the packaging.
We've been here for maybe a day.
Look, I was hungry. All right, are you going to have some of this or not? 'Cause
Thank
I will take
you.
I will take my Twinkies and go home.
Thank you.
You and Colin. Can you process solids?
I'm not even sure Colin's awake.
You guys are you're in the cafeteria. You haven't gone to the.
Okay.
He's just screaming, Colin! Colin's out.
I mean,
you just hear over your radio. What? Oh God, my head hurts so bad.
I'm glad to see you are still with us.
Colin, do you want an ancient snack food?
I'm dead, aren't I?
Yeah.
I'm in hell.
No,
Yep.
you've gone to hydrogenated fat heaven. Do you want this or not?
That's also another name for hell.
Well, at least you're all right-ish.
On the bright side, if you are vegetarian, I do not believe there is anything resembling meat in these.
I don't think there's anything resembling food in these.
I love
Sure.
Colin's perspective. The last thing he remembers is getting his fucking sword stolen and his ass kicked, and now he's waking up.
He like
We're
goes
shopping.
just being like, "Hey, do you want some twerkies?"
If he's not used to the fucking non sequiturs of this crew by now, he doesn't deserve to be here.
You want some twerkies or some twankies? We also have oohoos.
I'd like some first aid. Well, you got oohoos.
Injured. Good luck, you injured piece of shit.
No, all right. Here's some John Prodman band-aids.
Said while just like opening up an oohoo and pouring it on him.
For my homies.
I'm still alive.
We're not even there yet. God damn it. Yeah, I was going to say, Amanda. I wonder if there's like a corpus version of Storage Wars just called Derelict Wars.
It's perfect. I didn't realize how perfect it was until just this very moment, and I hate it.
I would unironically watch that show.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
will-
basically asking me to watch a treasure hunting show with the actual danger of treasure hunting somewhere dangerous. That sounds awesome.
Now, you see, from the cursory scan, we can see there's definitely some large quantities of oxium in there, but when we looked a little bit further back, we started to see some of that meatball stuff, so we're going to stay back from this particular derelict. See the new guy wander in there and get his face eaten.
You guys are cowards. I'll get that oxium.
Oh, fund it.
And then,
Netflix, come on.
and then just head back to the shop, and John Prodman walks in with a relic. The relic has the following drops: common, twerkies; uncommon, twankies;
Rare
Is-
walkies.
No, rare is in fact the entire Twankies machine in mint condition. It is the dream that they dive for.
1,000 crewmen died to obtain this relic.
Oh,
For fuck's sake! Okay,
Jesus.
yes, you guys reach you guys head upstairs, to the shipyard where Colin is sitting up against a wall by the in the small sublight transport that you would put him in, with Titania, I believe, was left behind.
Yep. So
Yes.
Yeah, with Titania currently fussing with his hair.
He's got a braid.
He's got a braid.
Nice.
Do not be alarmed, but we are coming in with the thing that beat you up. It is now on our side. Or at least
Great.
it is not against us.
Great.
I think it is more specifically on her side, but we are trying to help her, so...
We also got your sword back, just in case you were wondering.
Did anyone
Oh,
remember to grab
that's
the
even better.
sword? Did anyone remember to grab the sword?
Does Nidus still have it?
No, I disarmed him of it.
Wait, are we calling him Nidus?
Well, it's that we call just call him Infested Boy.
Yeah, I don't know if we ever found out his name. Their
He's got a
name?
little name tag. Hello, my
He's-
name is Nidus.
Hello, my name is Nidus.
For-
Hello, my name is literally everyone on the ship into one being.
How about this? How about this? For convenience's sake, Kirei will recall a rumor about a uninfested Warframe in the Era system that had supposedly been discovered. That was named Nidus.
Okay. Nidus is a good name. Yes? Do you like it? All of you?
It is
I
fine.
can't really argue.
Nidus looks at you. You think?
Is it fine with him? Her?
Them?
It?
I mean,
Them?
technically, them is strictly accurate.
Every part of him moves.
He's undulating. I think that's a good sign. Or it's a really, really bad sign.
He, them pronouns. Understood. Got it. Nidus, you like it? Great. We're making headway.
Some weird fleshy Mexican wave with their entire body.
Well, no, like it's like his body is built in layers that can all come apart.
Ah.
But
Ah.
just kind of like do that for a moment.
Why are you so gross?
Let's just not think too deep about it.
Oh.
A maggot pops out.
Oh.
It comes out of his head.
Yando's just like, that's disgusting. Eats another Twanky.
The maggot wants a Twanky.
He can have a Twanky.
Baby.
Oh god, it's gonna burrow into it, isn't it?
Cute little baby.
Oh god, there's a maggot running around with a Twanky round its outside.
No,
Like it's got a little.
it eats the Twanky plastic and all.
Oh well, all right, fair enough. At least we know they don't just eat flesh. Actually, this might make. Oh my god, the ship will be cleaner than ever.
You assume that we're keeping them with us.
Yanto is tickling one under the chin while he holds it in his arm.
I mean, you
I'm sorry,
seem
what?
to be very attached.
I mean, look at his little. Ow! That's my finger. No, you get cuddles. You don't get to eat the finger. No, not the finger.
Because it has those like 4 little proboscis for a face, and it just kind of like it just kind of like taps your face with all 4 proboscis.
Ah, I think
Repeatedly.
I think it's licking my face.
And like a wavy motion.
You do have a lot of something on your face.
Yeah, it's oh god, it's just a cream filling. Okay, just I can't just let. Okay, look, I'm just gonna wipe it off. Okay, look, eat it off my hand. Ah, there we go. There's a good little flesh nodule thing. Colin, do you want to hold that saying? Colin, do you want to pet one? Or no, you've probably got bad times with this. So
Give it time.
real
The trauma will fade.
While
No.
we wait for Aaron to recover enough to speak, what do we wish to do from here? We can attempt to get back through the portal, though that may be risky given its condition. I am somewhat interested in the ship up there, if we think we can make it to it. Titania, does the slander still work?
She hands you a printed out dossier of everything that needs to be imminently repaired before it can fly, and it really isn't a lot.
I
Yeah, so-
see.
It's just it's just a printout from the actual ship.
Yeah.
Oh, good. It's not just an A4 piece of paper with "it's fucked" printed on it.
Well, she can't really communicate with words, so
But the ship can have a diagnostics run.
yeah,
Like
the ship
that's
can have a
not
diagnostics run.
her words. That's the ship being like, this needs repaired, this needs repaired, this needs repaired.
I see. She'll look at all of it and figure out if they can find it on if all this are things they should be able to find on the station.
Salvage it from other parts.
The diagnostic prints out and just says, "Go fuck yourself."
Gets to the end of the list and goes, "Printer needs something." It fades out there at the end. I'm not sure what it needs.
Yeah. Well, at the very least, there should be a bunch of scraps in the motor pool,
Huh?
as well as manufacturing.
It shouldn't be too hard. Not much of this looks too specific. I mean, question kind of is, where exactly will we fly this thing?
To the larger ship.
I suppose, but are we not going to try and get back to our lander, which, for all I'm aware, is on the opposite side of gestures to the gate? That
The gate is closed.
Yes, that would be the problem.
It is inactive.
I am not entirely certain how
Well,
we would go about opening that.
it-
I'm
well,
not sure
namely,
how we opened the other first one.
It is active. It's just there is no key, so like they can't really go through.
right.
Unless we can find something here, we can find a key on this end. Did we have a key from the other end?
It just seems like we kind of fell into this.
There
rather-
was one. There was a key on this side too.
I see.
It was there when I was conscious. Obviously, it's not there anymore.
Well, then what happened to it?
Yanto looks over at Nidus. Don't suppose you'd have any idea.
Nidus shakes his head.
Well, worth trying.
That is concerning.
There's something managed to open up a gate here and then stuck us here.
No, if there was a key on this end, it is missing, and Nidus did not take it, then who did?
That's kind of what I meant, but all right, sure.
And you hear the first thing that Aaron said successfully. Shadow.
Turn to look
right.
at her.
It trapped us here.
And she nods.
That is distressing, especially as
This is not something.
one of the last things that happened that I recall is, I believe, Captain Dulant ordered the relay destroyed. I suppose Erin herself would have a better idea of what happened from there.
She nods a little. Built a gate. Used it to get to Calamity's home.
So the gate, I take it the relay was never repaired.
She shakes her head.
That is a problem.
Seems like it was easier just to forget about this place than to ever try to fix what was wrong with it.
I suppose by that time, that seems like it was likely the start of the war with the infested. And it wouldn't be, in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't long out after that that the sentience happened. I imagine that at that point new colonies were not a priority.
Colin looks at Aaron and then just says, "That ship up that ship up there, that's a void ship." And she nods.
A void ship?
Sort of like ours, like the Arbiter.
Hmm.
Something that's meant to travel the solar rails. Namely, the solar rails are they give us an end point from the void.
Right.
It spits us into the void and then gives us a way out of the void.
But that is the issue. I'm sorry, solar rail was what I meant to say. The solar rail was destroyed.
And yet we got here, so there's got to be some way of getting back.
Well, if the shadow hid the key somewhere, we can find it. We came here through the portal. We would...
I can only assume there's a key on the other side of the portal, so we can head back the way we came.
But where we came was Lua.
And that's where our ship is.
Yes. How do you intend to get back there with no key and...
I'm saying we find the key, come back to the gate and go through.
Yes.
How are we disagreeing over this?
You are wording things in a very confusing manner.
All right, fine.
Omega consumes an entire uhu.
Just
in one bite, bottle and all. It just kind of like shapes itself around the uhu and then just like compresses. Like you hear the glass shatter and everything as it just compresses itself after consuming the entire bottle. It chitters happily.
I suppose we'll search for the key in addition to the parts we need to repair the ship.
Right, well, if no one else is going to have any objections, I'm going to go and start kicking my way through these fucked up ships, see what I can find.
Yeah. Over the next few hours, you guys are able to... You're able to find the pieces that you need. There really weren't that many. This is not going to make for a ship that can work more than a couple of times. This is the things that you need, or the things that you find, are going to give you a piecemeal ship that could probably get you to a very close moon.
Yeah.
Fortunately, that's as far as you need to go.
That is what we require.
If you go any further than that, it will probably shake itself to pieces. And over the course of that, no, you do not find a void key.
To be fair, drop rate is pretty freaking low. We're not just going to find it sifting through garbage.
Yeah.
It seems that rather than hiding it, the shadow just took it.
Well, that's encouraging. Well, at least we can get this ship going at the very least. If we can get to the larger one up there, then maybe we can find, I don't know, keys probably too much to hope for, but resources.
If nothing else, a military ship will hopefully have a fair bit of supplies, including non-perishable food. It will likely not be tasty, but it should keep us going.
Yanta looks at the twanky in his hand. I mean, I think this is very much the definition of non-perishable.
Perhaps, but military food should have nutrients in it necessary to keep us going. Those are just empty calories.
They may be empty, but they're mine.
You've got dibs. No one's gonna fight you for them.
Look, it's been a while. It has been practically, it has been centuries since I had one of these.
I want you to go ahead and extend that century guesstimate by a few more.
Look, just let me have this, all right?
Add some zeros.
Stop making me Stop making me comprehend the vast abyss of time. I want to eat it wanky.
Enjoy them. There are probably
Also,
none left.
We have not exactly speaking of vast abyss of time. We have not explained that to Aaron yet.
We should probably do it in a slightly more elegant way than complaining about snack food. All right, got it.
Yes.
I'm just going with what I know, okay? It's been a very difficult day.
I mean, no offense, but delicacy
I know.
and subtlety are not two things I have observed you knowing.
I'm not going to say you're wrong, but that still hurt.
I apologize.
A maggot consumed an entire wrench.
Hey, we need that.
Too late.
Nidus, could you please keep the boys under control?
He shakes his head.
Oh, for God's sake.
At the very least, can you please not have them consume anything essential to repairing the ship?
He shakes his head.
At least he's honest.
He motions to MT.
God damn it, why are all the Warframes we discover sardonic dick bags?
I feel like at
He
this
shrugs
point,
his shoulders.
I feel like this is a point where Loki does something. I'm just not sure what.
I was imagining Titania just smacks him around the back of the head.
No, Loki steps out as if he's going to do something, and then Saren slaps him.
Thank God. Thank God Saren's here.
It seems they recall that they know each other.
Loki looks hurt. Saren slaps him again.
So
Look.
glad I brought her along.
Loki decides that now is not the time.
Please do not hurt him too bad. I do still rely on him.
Saren folds her arms over her chest and just looks like she's angry. Every second that Loki's in the room, it is a second that she's angry.
Things apparently
Look,
did
guys,
not go well between after, from what we recall.
Yeah, I'm thinking a lot about that. And what this means.
Indeed.
Dear Yahoo Answers, is my Warframe gay?
Yes. That's not the part that I'm
That is not the
Okay.
mystery.
That is very explicit.
That was a mystery that we solved.
Does his Saren is gay? Yes.
Look, it's the distant space future. Everyone's bisexual.
Everybody bi. Everybody pan. It doesn't even matter.
Everybody just going at it.
Everybody just going at it. The Grineer, I'm not even too sure how the Grineer reproduce aside from cloning, so who cares?
That's it. It's just cloning.
That's it.
Yeah,
Just furious
Oh,
clones.
man.
it's just cloning.
Is Saren going to be jealous of Kirei?
I don't.
Can we just...
All right, back on the actual track and conversation.
Well, okay. Here's my train of thought. What we saw in that dream was real and was history, but I don't necessarily think that those people are 100% our Warframes. You get it?
Indeed, that
Yeah.
would be impossible. I built Loki myself, after all.
But maybe something about Loki's parts is from that person, and the trauma just somehow stuck with him in DNA. I don't know. I don't know how it works, but for some reason,
It is
they have
curious.
those memories.
Nothing that goes into making a Warframe would be suggestive, would suggest a transfer of memory or consciousness, but clearly something in the process does happen. If the Warframes were built on the Heroes of Calamity company,
But
I'm-
what I'm worried about now too is that since we all saw that and we lived that, what must they be thinking? Can Warframes have an identity crisis?
they seem capable of other complex reasoning and emotion. I do not see why not.
I'm
They're
just worried.
affection, jealousy.
Because sometimes they seem more emotional than us. I don't know if they can filter it well.
I have no mouth and I must scream.
They
How do you think that feels? None of them have been able to write. None of them are able to do much more than give hand gestures and express basic shapes and ideas.
But now at least it sounds like at least Loki, Saren, and Tanya remember a great deal more. They may have better functioning.
Maybe.
A true identity now, not just a blossoming one.
Or
I-
would they be trying to emulate an identity that's not entirely theirs? An ancestor, but maybe not them. I don't know. It's really philosophical, and it makes my head hurt.
I suppose it's just something we'll have to help them with if they need it. This is one matter that we cannot truly relate to.
It's also got to be a little tough when we pilot them. They're not themselves at that point either. They're us. Or are we them?
Can, is now really the time to start getting into
Sorry.
these heavyweight? I can see Colin is just lying there. I think he's feigned unconsciousness just to get out of this.
He doesn't pilot a Warframe.
He used to.
Or
He
he
did.
has actually blacked out.
I
I'm not entirely sure.
try to avoid these existential quandaries.
So do I, but I'm here.
You're a
I-
monk.
You're a monk. Are you not supposed to be somewhat philosophical?
He's an Irish monk.
What does that mean?
What does that mean in the distant space future?
I have not brought this up before, but Yanto, are you perhaps slightly racist?
Oh, here it is. Laid on the table.
Slightly? How fucking dare you? I mean, racist. How far? Oh shit! Listen, there's only two people I hate. That's intolerant people and the Irish. And a vast antivirus, which just told me a threat had been detected. Get the fuck out of here. It thinks good old games is a fucking nerd.
Yes, I do get existential, and philosophy is one of my specialties.
That and just running up and hitting people in the face with a gigantic sword.
That's also my specialty.
The
A baron is not whoever he was based upon. And he isn't me.
He's kind of taken up certain things from the Silver Grove. He's reflective of that more than anything else.
They're like anyone else, any other human. They are emblematic of their experiences and their memories. They think and they feel just like us. At least the ones like them. I know there are others not like them. The majority not like them. Another, I think, a more immediately relevant point is this does mean that if Loki is now conscious, that means any Warframe has that potential.
Loki is currently splayed out, refusing to get up after Saren's second slap. He decided now is not the time. He's pretending to be unconscious.
I hope they are not bothered by us talking like this in front of them. It occurs to me this could be considered rather rude.
I mean, for all we know, they're discussing the philosophical concepts of human consciousness, and we just can't pick up on it.
Saren just kind of... She just finds a place to sit down.
You know what all this is making me realize?
No.
We need to get back to our ship because we've left sentient warframes halfway across the system, and
Oh yeah, like we've left the controls in the hands of Trinity and Excalibur,
yes,
and oh, that's going to be fun.
and also one broken Nasia.
Oh,
Is there as well.
Yes.
Cut over to the cut over to the orbiter. You guys have been gone long enough. The Excalibur has pointed the orbiter at the moon.
Trinity has got over the Trinity's got the full Nelson.
Yeah, like everyone else is like basically pulling him away from the controls while also trying to usurp control from him.
You cannot.
While the orbiter is just slowly descending into the moon.
Please
I'm
do not.
sure everything's fine. Excalibur is responsible.
He is very protective of you, though.
Yeah, we
We are
should probably get back as soon as possible.
Yes, we're all. I am also still uncertain exactly how long we've been gone.
Well, if that's the case, in the immortal words of someone who said this before, all aboard the ship to the other big ship. I'm not good with this.
Titania sits in the pilot seat.
Yeah, I was thinking you're going to be better at this than me.
And
I must admit, it will be nice to have a real pilot for a change. I do not believe I am more than adequate.
so Tanya, have you always been able to pilot? She looks back, nods. Why did you let me make a fool out of myself so many times? And she looks back at him and nods. God damn it!
Thumbs up.
I answered my own question.
Titania just leans over and presses a button on the dash, and the Kenny Loggins comes on the PA system.
Yes.
We're going to a place that's hazardous.
God damn it, no.
Solar rail to sector danger.
Wait, what? Wait, what? I don't get it. I don't like this. I don't like it.
Rail to sack the danger.
Sarah just leans over and slaps Loki again.
Loki gets up to go ahead and try to press a red button, and Titania slaps his hand away.
Is this the ship you put the death boosters on?
Death boosters? I missed some shit, didn't I?
I do not wish to experience the death boosters. I do not think it will be necessary. Please
Hold on,
do
what?
not activate the death boosters.
What death boosters? I missed this. What the hell? Looks at Titania.
You missed it, but
I-
you should have been flying it.
I kind of noped out of that a bit earlier than I think everyone else understands.
I see. That would explain why you all were together more than me when I woke.
And I think at this point you guys have a chance essentially to catch each other up
Yeah. Kirei will.
on the way out. On the way up.
Well, effectively, Kira's going to be just catching us up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. I assume it starts with Kirei and MT, and then there is a point where MT is like, and then I woke up, and Kirei explains the rest of what happened. And I just picture Loki acting out his part in the background.
Waggling his
As
head
she
from side to
tells
side.
Yoda.
First time anyone's ever seen Titania look moderately exasperated.
He somehow turns just his arm invisible to simulate losing it.
Oh, god damn it.
But yes, as they are flying, Kirei also explains about the sort of slapdash super boosters that the Calamity Company built to escape the pull of the infested Cephalon. And that they were not meant to be used more than once.
And then if you got shot
She
in the nose, the whole
emphasizes
thing
that. She
explode.
emphasizes that heartily, that they were very dangerous and not meant to be used multiple times.
You emphasize while Loki's about to push the button, and then he stops doing that.
Kirei is not concerned because she assumes he's just joking. At least she's really hoping so, based on her having a bit more insight into the captain than probably the rest, since she was literally in his head.
And after several minutes, you guys you don't quite breach the atmosphere because the moon of Makimaki is itself within the upper atmosphere of Makimaki. It is that goddamn close. And yeah,
You know, now that I think about it, in a Warframe, we might just be able to jump there.
The moon has no sense of personal space.
doesn't. And you're able to punch in a few familiar landing codes that you guys do recall from the dream.
Yeah. And or Titania just does it.
Right. And a hangar bay in the grand ship opens in the rear, and you're able to touch down.
Before they go off to the ship, Kirei will check and see how Erin's doing.
She's Mostly focused on the ship you're approaching.
Mm-hmm. Well, she must have spent a fair bit of time on it.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, you guys do touch down. Aaron had to be carried to the transport ship, and likewise has to be carried off.
Mhm.
Her all of her movements are just noticeably weak.
Yeah. In fact, I think Kirei's first action goal is going to be to try and find the medical wing of this large ship.
Yeah.
And see if, I don't know, there's still enough working parts to it that she can maybe figure out how to run some tests on Aaron. Just make sure that she is all right, that there's no like long-lasting harm from the cryo sleep.
Yeah. You can do that.
Feels not
Nidus will accept this and carry her
yeah.
to the medical wing.
She will explain what she intends to, so as not to get on Nidus's bad side.
So Nidus just doesn't just eat you right now.
Yeah. She does not wish for that to happen.
A risk you're constantly you're constantly dancing on.
Yes, she's going to avoid anything that involves like needles or
Don't pinch her.
other things.
Don't even pinch her.
Until Nidus has a better understanding of discomfort versus actual harm.
Yeah. You run a test. Just you set her on one of the. Also, firstly, about the ship. It's pretty well preserved in here. The majority of its systems seem to be working just fine. There's not really a lot of dust either, since dust would require humans and human skin.
Right.
So
It's weirdly pristine.
yeah, it's weirdly pristine.
They don't make them like they used to.
Literally, in this case.
They don't make these
They don't
anymore
make these
at
anymore.
all, ever. The blueprints to make this have been lost.
Perhaps we can find the blueprints. Perhaps we can go on our quest to just gather materials and make a fleet.
There is at least one corpus governor who would just give everything he has for this ship. Everything. He will give you all 12 of his children.
Right.
including all of his money and all of the money that he has stashed away for his children. He will optionally, if you don't want the children, he'll sell them off to someone else and give you the proceeds.
That is alarming. Please do not do that.
For some reason, my LinkedIn's just blown up. What the fuck is this? Who are all these people? What do you want? Go away. I don't want your children. They're ugly.
And yeah, so you take her to the med bay and set her on one of the tables. Where you have Nidus do that. And he stands by protectively while you run a few scans. And Erin is trying to get better at looking at you, but it's still kind of painful.
Oh, Kirei will... I don't know. She doesn't really consciously do anything, but if she can, like, suppress her powers or something.
It doesn't seem to be terribly effective.
I mean, she's not using any right now, so she doesn't really know what else she can do to make her less hard to look at.
But yeah, like she's trying to
Yeah.
get used to it. And the med bay goes through a full diagnostic, and while there is while there are lasting and seeming and probably temporary effects of cryolethargy, there is also there's also some effects of void scarring, but this med bay is not equipped to deal with that and not equipped to diagnose it. You don't notice any scars on her?
Does she know anything about? Oh, right, because void scarring is like what Yanto has, right?
Yes.
I mean, it is possible somewhere where she is clothed, or like Kirei, she may not have any that are truly visible, like Kirei herself. Hmm. So what was the other thing other than the void scarring? Sorry, she's just
Lingering effects of long-term cryosleep.
right.
Nothing that will be especially permanent. Just going to require a very strict diet and a strict exercise regimen to avoid any permanent effects.
The good news is that it seems you are just suffering from a normal case of what happens post cryosleep. As long as you eat nutritiously and exercise, you will fully recover. What is curious is that I am seeing signs of void scarring. That is unusual, as I had previously believed those were unique to us.
She furrows her brow and tries to think or recollect anything that might be relevant to that, and then shrugs her shoulders.
You do not recall having a scar like that, then? Strange.
Never had scars.
I suppose it is. I am not yet sure what that means, but this facility is not equipped to detect it. It is not something that there was occurrences of, to the best of my knowledge, then. For now, I suggest getting some rest until you are well enough to move. We can get you. We'll attempt to find some real food and water as well.
She nods
When you
and then just says, "Thank you."
when you are feeling better, we have a lot we need to explain to you. But that can wait until you are up for it.
She nods a little.
Yeah. for now, assuming she's comfortable here, she'll leave her here. Otherwise, she'll offer to find some place else to take her, like a bunk bed or something, if she'd prefer to lay down.
She's okay where she is right now.
All right, she'll leave.
Nidus will continue to watch over her.
She'll leave her in Nidus's care and see what the others are up to, I guess.
The others, were you just exploring the ship?
Yeah, actually, just kind of wandering around, seeing what I could see. Because this is
Okay.
all weird and...
Yeah.
So
Yanta's definitely wandering around with at least like a wrench or a hammer or something. Like he's still quite edgy.
nothing jumps out at all to scare you except for Loki.
Ah, tonk. I'm seeing Loki.
He falls down, clearly dead.
Ah, that'll learn you. Just steps over.
At some point, you're no longer looking at him, and when you look back, he's gone.
Yanta mutters about something about loading times, and then just decides to be moving on.
God damn it, Loki is somewhere between our wacky uncle and like a comical live-in ghost.
Oh god. Oh god, he's turning into the Addams Family.
You haven't seen Titania since you got here.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
I'm just gonna wait until I hit the fire alarm, and then I'll know where she is.
She turned very small as soon as you guys had the all clear to move in.
They might have, at least from their memories, things aboard this ship still. Though she's here, though I suppose they would have taken anything truly important to them back when they went back through the portal.
Yanto thinks to himself what he remembers. Remembers Titania finding important. Oh no. Oh dear. Right, so guys may want to look out for like explosives. Just saying.
I don't know. Do you think something like that would still be active after all these years?
I'm just covering my bases here. If she found out that all the explosives didn't work, she'd probably rig out some kind of just sack full of dud grenades to land on your head.
Saren rather excitedly comes up to you guys, specifically MT.
Hi. What did you find?
She motions for you to follow her.
I will follow
And
her.
then we'll take your hand.
Where are we headed?
She takes you to the hydroponics garden.
Is it... what's its state?
There is nothing living right now. But it's easily salvageable. It's a very large room that is equipped to handle a myriad of different plants. Partly for food purposes and partly for extra oxygen.
Oh, hey. Do you think you can do something with this?
She, dips her fingers in the soil because you see just empty bays of soil. Just rows upon rows of these, and she dips her fingers into the soil and shows this to you. The soil is a nice, really dark brown. It seems that it would only just need some water to come back to life.
MT, knowing nothing about how gardening works or growing works, and now that I'm thinking about it, probably doesn't even know what soil feels like.
Mhm.
Just nods.
I mean,
Good
we did
dirt?
visit Earth.
We did visit Earth, but did we visit Earth?
we were at least in the vicinity of the Silver Grove, so
Oh yeah,
you
we
have
were.
experienced soil. I can
That's
at least
right.
tell you that much. Earth may be a little fucked, but I think there is still soil
We
there.
mostly described the concrete, so that's what I
True.
remember.
That is true. We were in a forest for a while too.
That's right. No, you're right.
And
Sorry, it was almost like it was 25 episodes ago or something.
Sarah just kind of like stretches her arms out to either side, and then puts her hands on her hips, just kind of surveying her new kingdom.
You have full reign to do with this what you will. How about that? I trust you.
She gives you a hug.
Oh, I'm glad you're feeling better.
And she gives you a nod.
You let me know if you need anything. Any way you can, I guess.
She nods.
I know it must be weird and awful because I feel weird and awful, but trying to keep a stiff upper lip.
She looks a little downtrodden for a second, but then nods a little, and then puts a hand onto the center of her chest and motions to you.
I think I understand. But have at it. I'm gonna keep looking around.
She then begins to explore the hydroponics farm. Yonso, because you have been in the past kind of a gearhead a little bit.
Yeah, well, definitely.
What is your priority here?
Probably kind of looking around for, say, terminals and systems he can just look on, see if there's any surface data he can look at, and then just making sure everything's working on the ship.
Yes. It does seem, and do you just check the engine rooms and the like?
Yeah, like engine rooms, water recyc, life support.
Yeah. There isn't a lot of water recyc left. It seems that much of it was taken and used for other purposes. The majority of the renewable resources on this ship have been taken.
Yeah, well, makes sense if they're expecting to make a longer journey.
And the ship itself, though, is in working order. It is in working order. Flight is duly possible. It would not take a lot of power to leave the gravity well of this moon. And yeah, that would be easy. It itself, though, is like the rest of Orokin craft in that it is sublight speeds.
So getting anywhere is still going to be not easy, and without the rails, freaking impossible.
It can it can go fast with enough time. It will take about a few months for it to reach maximum speed. But
even then, sublight from an interstellar standpoint,
and you are in the midst of the Kuiper belt.
Yeah,
like you are edging on that interstellar space.
Goddamn arse ends of the universe, and we're stuck in this. Great.
The void drive is working.
Mm-hmm.
But you know that if you were to activate it, you
It would
can be
basically-
activated. It can be activated manually, but that would then be relying on blindly traveling through the void.
which is just the worst idea possible.
You could pop out inside of the sun.
Eh, at least be warm. But yeah,
And also an immediate death.
all right, fine. Yeah, Yato is kind of looking around at all this, and he has been percolating an idea which he is gonna, if possible, just test out. Because if this is a void-enabled ship, surely one of the things that the system would have is, not wanting to use a 40K analogy here, but the essentially sensors to sense for warp incursions or void incursions on the ship. So,
Well, as far as the Orokin knew, there weren't such things. The void is just a chaotic mess of energy. There aren't things that should be living in the void.
but there wasn't even so there's not even something like just a test for like leaks in the fail safes or never mind.
No, I'm saying that that there isn't anything like in 40K you have like a Geller field, right?
Yeah.
That keeps I forget the warp. Yeah, the warp from sending demons into you. In this case, there were no recorded incidents of things living in the void that needed to be warded.
Oh, fair enough. So the void itself was not necessarily something that needed to be like shielded from the ship. I wasn't
Exactly.
necessarily thinking like malevolent things. I was just thinking like it's raw chaotic energy.
Right. No,
kind of buff it.
It having a void engine by definition gives you that. Like it can slip into the void, and the chaotic energies of the void will not destroy it.
Okay, fair enough.
That's one of the things that that a void engine does for you.
Yeah. In which case, yeah, Beato's just gonna chill out and just futz around with the systems, then just making sure he's got a rough idea of
course,
what they can get the ship to do.
You also know that the Zaraman 10-0 was a void ship, and something happened there.
Yeah, something distinctly fucking happened there.
Something happened in the void.
There was nothing recorded about anything malevolent in the void until the whole ship went fucking insane.
And also, the shadow had to leave from here somehow.
Look, basically taking this out of things, I was basically just looking to see if I could scan the ship for void traces.
Okay.
Or kind of void energy.
Yes, within the void engine itself. There's nothing that void scarring or anything. There isn't any void damage to the ship at all.
Okay, fair enough.
The projected time it would take to reach Lua would be about 3 years.
Yeah, that's not an option.
It would take several months to reach top speed, and then you would also have to account for the fact that you would want to take several months to reduce your speed.
So if you don't just slam into Lure at the speed of fucking light.
Yeah. Well, so not quite light speed. So you don't like slam into Lua at like half the speed of light. That's usually like a really bad idea, I gotta say.
To be fair, I think when you've reached half the speed of light, that's pretty much as bad as hitting something at the actual speed of light.
That's fair.
Although I think at light speed you can technically phase through things.
I think so, yeah.
Possibly. I always like the quote from Red Dwarf of "We are now traveling faster than light speed," which means by the time we've seen something, we've already passed through it.
Yes. Yeah. At half the speed of light, you're still a physical, tangible thing, so you can definitely hit something like a goddamn meteor and cause a lot of problems.
We won't hit things like a meteor. We'll hit things like a tachyon.
You'll hit something real hard. You'll die instantly, and that planet will feel the effects for another 100 years or so.
Good times, excellent times. Oh yeah, without that, I'm assuming he'll kind of wander off and see if he can find Titania. Casually glancing up and around him, expecting something to drop on his head at any moment.
Nothing yet.
Yet being the operative term.
Yes. MT. MT and Kirei. What are your priorities?
Mostly just, I think, because MT doesn't know anything about repairing a ship or flying a ship.
Mhm.
She doesn't know anything about medical. So she's mostly just looking around and seeing what each of the rooms looks like they were, or what they could do or be. She's really just kind of doing an all over scope of the entire ship.
Okay. It is a very large ship. It's meant to comfortably transport an entire military company. So, it has a large rec room. It has it has several, well, more than several private rooms with bunks. So you have sleeping quarters that can fit 4 people at a time. You've also found the hydroponics farm. There are plenty of things like that that are survival related. That are mostly focused on making it so that the ship can be run long term. There is in fact a cryo bay for crew going into deep sleep for extended journeys. There is a rather fancy bridge with a big fancy captain's chair.
Ooh.
That's
Dare I?
that overlooks that's like raised and overlooks several monitors and several desks that all seem to be important in flying the ship or something.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit in it just for fun. I'm gonna look around, make sure no one's noticing, and I'll just sit in it.
I want to say you turn it around and Loki's already in it.
It swivels round. He's petting a maggot.
Yeah.
Getting real comfortable, huh?
He gives you a thumbs up.
Been awake for less than 12 hours, and already you're just such a little pistol.
He gets up and sets the maggot down to go examine something else, and you see a fresh layer of black paint on his backside, as it appears someone has sabotaged the captain's chair with fresh black paint.
Oh no. Oh no. It begins. The Warframe prank war has started.
Prank frame.
You know what? I'm not gonna say anything. I'll just leave him to his own devices, and I will continue looking around. Maybe see if I can find any rations that might still be good.
Yeah, there is.
What was it? Rare sculptures. Any Iatan stars.
There's one room that's just full of iodine trash.
Wow, I don't know what any of this means.
And yeah, there's a cafeteria. There's a cafeteria slash mess hall in this ship, and it does happen to have uh, a very early model of fabricator that just seems to be geared towards edible things.
Oh, great.
It's big and bulky and like way more
I can figure this out. I'm smart. I
like
can
way
tinker
more
with it.
arcane looking than and archaic looking than the desk sized Faber in your ship.
That's fine. You know what? I figured out how to use that one with little to no help, and I can figure out how to use this one.
It has enough materials to last maybe a few days.
That's better than nothing. Let's start with water.
Yeah, you Faber up some water.
I drink it. Does it taste gritty?
No. It's a Faber, so it converts raw material into a thing.
Awesome. I'll get another thing of water and I'll try to go find Aaron.
Okay, yeah, you know that that Kirei had taken her to the medical bay. And soon enough, you do find her. She is sitting on a bed that has been raised enough so that she can comfortably sit on it. Nidus is standing by protectively, and yeah, you give her a glass of water, and she just says, "Thank you."
Don't mention it. Don't worry about it. Conserve your energy. You need to build it back up. I tell you to rest, but you've been doing a lot of that.
She gives like a little smile at that.
I was in your shoes not too long ago, you know? I woke up and nothing made sense and everything was scary and a lot of things went through my head. A lot of things still do as I try to figure out everything. I guess what I'm trying to say is you aren't alone.
She knows a little.
You have a protector too. He reminds me a lot of who was watching over me when I was sleeping.
She looks back at Nidus. Nidus's arm opens up, and there's a bunch of proboscis that just kind of flail about. And she gives like the barest hint of a laugh. He closes his arm.
He cares about you. They care about you.
I've been able to see them for a while.
Yeah?
It's not them anymore.
Something new.
Something born out of them.
Warframes are really mysterious. We might never know all the answers. But that's okay.
And they have presence In the void, I could see them. Like everyone else.
What's it like?
She looks at you, and then looks away from you because it hurts her eyes.
Can you describe it?
It's like seeing colors and lights that you previously didn't even know existed.
Does closing your eyes help? Or is it more of a... She
Oh,
taps on her head.
She nods at that. She shuts her eyes and kind of faces her head towards you a little bit.
it's never been this focused before. I don't remember it being. Like I have one place, one way of looking, not thousands.
You're really brave. And really strong. I want you to know that. Hey, how many fingers am I holding up? Keep your eyes closed.
None.
Okay.
3.
Mmm.
Now 6.
All right, that's weird. That's weird. You don't need your eyes to see. That's cool.
Not you, anyhow. Other people. Other people are easier to look at.
Sorry.
It's not your fault. You're brighter. Filled with much more color.
I'll try to tone it down.
People like you existed for a while. After I went to sleep. And then you were gone. I don't know how long you were gone. But I've seen you waking.
Oh. I don't know the full history myself. My head got knocked around. I think. You've seen everything.
No, not everything. I don't think I've seen everything. The void's too big. Too big for me anyway.
Well, for now, I don't want you to worry about it. I know you can't really look at me, but trust me. The face I'm making is very serious. Kirei, Yanto, and I, we're going to make sure that everything's going to be okay.
I know. I'll get used to it. Don't worry about me.
Okay.
And elsewhere with Kirei, what are you up to? Zach?
Kirei was gonna go take stock of the food stores next.
Okay.
See if she can find whatever else they find. They need to know how long they can eat.
Well, as MT had found, you find as well in the cafeteria there is the big archaic fabricator, and you have maybe 3 days of comfortable food stores left.
All right, how is the fabricator running? Well, at least,
Yes.
so they can create more
Yes. Well, no, that's what I mean. Like you have enough
to create 3
to
days.
create at least 3 days of
That is not long.
the majority of you found that the majority of
Yeah, she realizes that it would have been eaten by the people stuck on the ship before as they
Yeah.
were building
the majority of consumable and recyclable things have been taken.
That is not good. There is no key, and we don't have food to even imagine making a trip.
Let's say Yanto comes in, steps into the cafeteria looking for Titania.
He's holding his hands over his head protectively. Oh, no. All right, sure.
Is everything all right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find Titania. She went all tiny little bug mode, and that's normally a sign pranks are about to start happening, and nothing's happened yet, which is honestly slightly worse.
Unfortunately, unlike our orbiter, I think this ship may be too large for us to find her if she wishes to hide.
Well, I hope she at the very least decides to be sociable, if not non-prank worthy. What are you up to?
I have made a distressing discovery. We only
You- So you just have to elaborate. There's far too many things that could be distressing at this point.
we only have enough supplies, and they have a food fabricator, but only enough supplies for about 3 days worth for the 4 of us.
Great.
Unless we can find
5 of us.
5. Right, 5 now.
Oh, hey, here's a cafeteria.
Hey, man.
Hi.
Oh, you seem a lot better.
Rest. That certainly helps.
Do you wish us to check you up in the medical wing?
I'm probably just severely concussed.
I do believe that requires medical treatment still.
Yeah, that's still medbay.
There's that all of the things that dissolved a little bit that was keeping my brain in place, that'll grow back. That'll be fine.
I suppose we are rather hardier than most.
It's very hard to argue with him when it comes to physical violence.
I've had worse.
I don't doubt it. I just don't want to think about it necessarily.
I got thrown through a building once.
Oh no, shit, me too. Admittedly, in Rhino, but still.
I wasn't in a Warframe.
Yeah, that's what I mean by like. I don't want to think. Oh man,
I hadn't used my powers yet either.
how are you not dead?
I broke 30 bones. I got better.
He just puts his head in his hands. I don't. Your continued living is an affront to common.
How well does your body handle starvation?
That's a lot less well.
Ah, I see. That is unfortunate as we only have 3 days of food.
Oh, god damn it.
If we do not figure out a way back soon, we will not be making it back.
I am going to be using my powers constantly so that no one thinks, Colin, he's edible.
No, we're just going to eat anyone else.
I have thought you were edible for a very long time.
Wow.
Either
you're secretly a cannibal or something else. Both are distressing.
Kirei's blank expressionless face does not give clues as to which one.
Very distressing.
Well, I mean that at least fits our time frame because we're clearly not riding this ship back to Lua. We've got to find a way to open that gate. I suppose anyone happen to wander into, any secure areas or areas we couldn't get into?
No, I believe that between having the access codes to land here plus the Warframes and their memories, we should have access to anywhere on the ship.
We could take our chances on the void.
I do not like the idea, but we may have to.
Just leave the moon's orbits, slip this baby into the void, and then slip back out in an hour and see where we are.
You say that like it's sticking your head under the blanket. It is literally sticking our dicks into the raw background of the universe and hoping it doesn't bite it off.
To be fair, it would still be a far shorter trip than to the Tau system.
So it would be putting my head in the void engine. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it.
It is an idea that greatly concerns me, but it is still an idea I prefer to starvation.
Yes, well.
We should continue taking stock of the ship, though.
Yeah.
If nothing else, perhaps with some calculations we could do something to improve our chances.
Maybe.
Okay. Well, I'll say that you guys will have a chance for the next couple of hours to continue taking stock of this ship, and you put together pretty well put together a good map of the of the ship, and aside from dwindling resources, a void engine that can take you into the void. You find that navigations that navigations could could be used or could be calibrated to the void, but you'd have to know where you were going. You'd have to be able to understand the void.
The amount of intonation you're putting on this makes it sound like the worst idea.
Maybe a little.
Like it's like you could turn this nuclear generator on.
I guess.
You
Like,
could
just
try and
I don't know how I GM through that, but sure.
So I'm gonna be right back, guys. I'm gonna step away.
okay. It's like you could try to do the thing that traumatized you, unleashed psychic space horror upon you and your ship, and probably killed all of your families. But you know, that's might be your only choice for survival.
hey, this time we're prepared. I've got a wrench. That and a lot of therapy.
It's maybe a good time to recall that best you can remember, Kiri was not a pleasant person to be around during that incident.
No, and Yanto would probably go
Well-
catatonic if he had to relive the things he did. So, you know. It's not good shit. Not good shit for anyone. Oh god. Worst thing is that I'm thinking we are pretty much now left with the possibility that if the shadow has the key, we have to weigh up the options of what's the least risky, going into the void blind, or either striking a deal with and or fighting this shadow thing in order to get the key off of it.
Impossible.
I think the latter one is hampered by the fact that he's not here anymore.
He's gone, and we can't be like, "Hey, man, come back."
Can't just talk shit about him really loudly.
What? Can we build a key?
Better question, but probably not in 3 days, I think is the problem.
we got 3 days to we got
Build
3
a
days
Warframe
to
in 3 days. You can't build a void key?
We can build a Warframe in 3 days with a foundry specifically equipped with the ability to do that.
and you know shit that like thousands and thousands
We
of
don't-
credits and Orokin cells and various
Yeah.
other resources.
We do not have a foundry here, nor the resources to build much of anything, because most of it went into building the stuff that the last people who occupied this place built to get out of here. Turns out there may have only been enough parts for one escape plan. So our options are blind jump through the warp or starve to death. Or through the void, rather.
Is a third option contacting our ship, our previous ship?
Can we even contact them from this distance?
I don't know.
We could, even if we could, they still can't get to us any faster because the solar rail's destroyed. So,
What's what about the nearest solar rail that's not this destroyed one? Is there a closer one?
it's the closest one is still very, very, very far away. As Nate said, it would take us. Oh,
The closest one is well, theoretically Pluto, but more realistically Jupiter. By the time that you would get to but it would take you less time to get to Jupiter than Pluto, just based on Pluto's orbit.
Yeah. Pluto could theoretically be the closest if its orbit happens to be near ours at the time, is the thing.
Yeah, right now Jupiter's orbit is the closest to you. And that would take about if you guys go by your ship's computers, it'll take about a year and a half.
It's not 3 years, but it's still not great.
It's not 3 years, but it is still outpaces 3 days by a while.
Oh, another thing that you guys did discover is that there is power to the cryopods too.
I suppose if our other option is to put ourselves into cryo sleep while we
And
do cryo sleep while we jump, but
and lose a year and a half when the rogues may be about to instigate even further fractures and wars throughout the system.
yes, there's a good chance that their plan will already be completed by the time we'd return.
I'm just going to say right now, I got knocked out of this once, and I came back to a system that had torn itself in half. I'm not going to go away and come back to something even worse.
I don't think that would be a very good plan.
If we have to take our chances in the void, I'll do that over than going into cryo sleep.
I'll say that MT, like this conversation is happening like hours later, and all of you can be in the same room together.
And
Yes.
I'm here too.
The question is Erin there?
Yes, she is.
Okay. I don't know how much she has to add to this conversation, but she is privy to it.
Yeah, Nidus has carried her into the room because she didn't want to be lonely.
This is not a question I ask lightly, but do you suppose the things Nidus creates are edible?
Nidus opens all of his layers.
I make a
Oh
face.
God! Hide your shame.
As if to suggest that he will kill you.
Does he hiss a little bit, and we're like, "Where did that sound come from?"
Like there's several hissing, but they're probably for maggots inside of him.
He does not seem fond of that idea, I think.
I don't suppose you would be either.
Yes, well, to the best of my knowledge, Warframes don't need any kind of sustenance, so I suppose they would be fine.
I can navigate you.
What?
You said that the problem is that... And at this point, she's already sounding a lot better. You say that the problem is that if you slip into the void, that you don't know where you'll come out?
That is one of the problems, yes.
I know where you'll come out.
The shadow called you a seer. And you do seem to be able to see void presences. Does that extend as far as allowing you to navigate the void?
And MT, based on what she told you before, you think so.
Yeah. But I don't know. This seems really dangerous and difficult for you. You just woke up.
If it's the only way,
We do not have many other options that do not involve going back into cryo sleep for an extended journey.
Mm. What would we need her to do exactly? Just make sure we don't leave the void in the middle of a planet or something like that?
I suspect we would need to. I suspect for maximum effect, we would need to teach her to pilot the ship. I do not think... I do not know much about how it would work, but I assume it would be easiest if she could maneuver the ship herself instead of having the delay that would come from relaying to someone who cannot see what they are looking for. Titania, do you believe you could teach someone to pilot this ship?
She thinks on it and then nods a little. But Aaron just kind of goes, I don't know if I might just need.
You would know if anyone. We can draw on the void for power, but we cannot see it.
But my perspective is different now. I'm not how I was. I used to be able to see so much, but
When you were sleeping,
she nods a little.
you're
Now it's all just focused.
you're
Like seeing with my own eyes, and that's it.
your consciousness didn't have anywhere else to go, I suppose. We were connected to our warframes during sleep.
I don't know if I'll be able to focus on something as taxing as the void and also flying.
Then I suppose we'll have to make do with your direction. We may not truly have the time to teach you anyway.
You say that you had better perspective when you were sleeping. Yeah. When we're less in immediate danger, there might be some way I can help you with that.
Are you implying meditation?
You know, I'm beginning to think that I'm becoming predictable.
I'm.
It is the logical conclusion.
I mean, it's also something you do all the time.
There's a reason for that.
Where's Colin? Oh, floating in the air, I see. All right. Try not to knock into him on your way to the bathroom.
It gives me perspective.
Gives you a perspective of people bumping into you when they're trying to take a midnight piss.
You guys suck.
You suck.
I think she is talking about a more literal perspective, but I do believe it still might help.
That's what I mean.
I think it'll help too. We're just giving Colin a hard time because he's an easy target.
Titania takes a slip of paper with a target on it and just kind of like puts it on the center of his chest.
That's right. Titania knows.
You suck too.
I wouldn't start this war with her. It will nowhere well.
She throws a tiny pebble at his head. Ow.
Well, I suppose if this is what we are going to do, then we will leave when Aaron is ready, we should make sure that all the systems, it seems that all the systems on the ship we need are functioning. Are there any final repairs or anything else anyone can think of that we should do before we were to leave? Anything that remains down at the station?
Nothing I can really think of. I mean,
She's mostly addressing Aaron on that one.
oh, sorry. I'll be quiet.
She shakes her head. I don't think there's anything in particular that comes to mind.
Very well. It will be whenever you are ready then. If you wish for more rest, we have a few days worth of food yet.
I think we can do this anytime, whenever you're ready. I should be fine.
Well, then I would suggest we make way as soon as possible. Our supplies dwindle if we wait, and it would be better to have some still in store in case we run into other problems.
All right. So you guys are going to then prepare to. You guys are going to then prepare to set off.
Sounds like it. I don't think anyone else has anything to do at the moment.
I mean, extremely goddamn reluctantly. If there's cash and booze anywhere on the ship, Yanto is hitting it.
I'm particularly worried about Excalibur, so I'm mostly just trying to think of what it's going to be like when we actually get there, and not think about traveling through subspace.
Hey, you don't remember how traumatizing this is.
Nope, I don't. It's great.
You don't.
But I've heard y'all tell stories, and it's not like something I'm looking forward to.
You probably should be. It's a pretty good measuring stick that if Kirei treats something like it is a very bad time, it is probably worth avoiding.
Oh, it's the worst. Avoiding?
Avoiding.
So yeah, you all take various positions on the bridge. Who takes the captain's chair?
Not it. I've seen what Titanium did to it.
Oh, Yanto probably sits down on it. There's a squelch. He just sighs and makes himself comfortable.
Comfortable in the filth.
Your back and your butt and your back of your pants are definitely going to be black. Just the fresh paint.
Yep. Yeah. Cool.
Titania applied a new coat just for this. She knew someone was going to take that chair.
Kirei is sitting at the comm officer's station.
Titania sits in the main pilot's chair.
Does Loki plop down in the co-pilot chair?
Loki has his own chair. that he is he has wheeled to be next to the captain's chair?
Is it attached to a desk that moves?
Maybe.
Kira just stares at that. Is that where you have been? Were you fixing that?
Saren gets up. She walks to it. She punches it in half. Loki looks hurt.
Saren is such a hero.
She points at Loki and then just points at one of the other chairs at one of the stations. Cowed, Loki goes and sits down.
Saren is the friend that tells you to take that ironic shit hat off your head. And Loki is the friend that has another smaller ironic hat beneath that one.
Yes.
It's even more ironic than the first.
And Erin sits at she sits at the navigator's seat, but doesn't quite understand. She goes to sit at the navigator's seat and then just kind of goes like, I don't understand any of this. Someone else might want to.
I suppose I can take over though you are technically going to be the one navigating. Once we're in the void, none of those systems are going to mean much.
All right. Then she'll sit next to you by the navigator station.
Sounds good. Kira will at least lean over and make sure get them pointed in the right direction for as much as that means anything.
Well, Titania is in the main pilot's chair.
Oh yeah,
for the minor movements of the ship.
Right. She's probably knows enough navigation to go. The rest of the solar system is that way.
Yes. And yeah, very soon after.
I will say that Kira actually is visibly nervous.
Understandably. Very soon after, Titania steers the ship and begins the acceleration process to get the ship away from Maki Maki's gravity well. And after a couple of hours of silence and the ship growing ever more distant from Maki Maki, you finally get it all clear from the ship's navigations that you are safely away from Maki Maki's gravity well.
Flip it off on the way out.
Let's let it be me to the planet.
This planet was a hellscape. Every moment we spent on it. And every moment we spent watching other people's moments on it.
To be fair, it was quite spooky looking. Even by standards.
All right, fine. If everyone else wants to flip off the planet before we leave, please do so
I'm not flipping off the planet. Aaron flips off the planet.
Now we've got all that out of our systems.
Yes, now it is time for the actually scary part.
Yeah.
And you charge up the void engine, and there is a strange lurch as the space that is visible to you sort of compacts and then expands and explodes in a vibrant array of color of gold primarily. And you find yourselves in the void. You can see outside of the ship the expanse of vibrant colors, vibrant golds, metallic colors, some cool colors, some warm colors. It's all chaos and flux. Aaron shuts her eyes and focuses really hard.
Yanto's hands have pretty much just become one with the sides of the chair.
And after a long moment, she rattles off a set of coordinates for you, Kirei.
Okay. Kirei will, I guess, scooch over if she's. They're sharing the navigator's console at the moment. And,
Yeah, I mean you're with the navigator's console. That's going to be where you input coordinates and say go there.
right.
Like where Titania is sitting is for piloting.
Yeah.
Not it's for piloting like in the now, not setting a course.
Yep. Yeah. She'll begin to input the coordinates.
And you begin to move through the void. It's very tense and very chilling to look outside.
Yeah.
It feels like something's staring at you the entire time. And then Erin kind of furrows her brow. She's had her eyes closed this whole time. She furrows her brow and is just like, wait, no, do this instead. And gives you a different set of coordinates.
Kirei will change the coordinates, not saying anything, and with her normal look on her face, but she is sweating at the brow.
The coordinates are not too far from the ones that you had already set. And this happens again as well. About an hour later, that she has you change coordinates to something else that is again close to the previous change. As it probably becomes quite clear to you that your exit point from the void is changing with time.
Right. I mean, obviously there isn't a obviously if there was a static if there was any kind of static ability to navigate, we wouldn't need giant frickin' solar rails in order to navigate from one place to the next in the void.
And in another hour, she just asks, "How fast are we going?"
I am not quite certain how to measure that in our current circumstances.
Can you slow it down just a little bit?
She'll look to Titania because Titania's got that kind of control.
Yeah, Titania. She begins the process of slowing the ship. Okay, there, that speed. Okay, change coordinates to this.
Okay.
And
I think that's gonna be it.
And about 15 minutes later, she just says, "Okay, slip out of the void."
Yeah, I assume Titania disengages the void engine. Or
Yeah.
whatever procedures need to.
She looks back to you guys as if to ask, like, quietly ask, "Are we sure about this, guys?"
Now's as good a place as any.
Yeah, Kira will nod because she will trust the word of the only person who seems to know what she's doing. They will see where this leads them.
And she's holding her breath.
And I'll say that that you guys are able to see before you begin to slip out debris like asteroids or rocks or something floating amongst the void that you're passing through before you slip out. And as space compresses and then explodes and then implodes, and the images before you show something more concrete and less chaotic, you see yourself in Lua's orbit.
It occurs to me that if there is any celestial body that is somewhat easy to find while in the void, it would be this one, wouldn't it?
I am going to. Kira will scoot back over to the communications array and attempt to find and hail the orbiter.
It comes away from the captain's chair with a long, protracted, unsticking kind of unsticking sound,
Yes.
and then just lies on the floor.
You're gonna
Loki
get the floor dirty.
I don't care.
Loki takes his chance to get into the captain's chair, regardless of the consequences.
Just
I mean, whatever. We can throw him into the armory and come out with a new paint job like any time.
This is true. Look, I just need to lie down now.
He can decide his own paint jobs once we get back to the orbiter.
Yeah, you. I mean, there's a comm line open. You realize that no one else on the other line can physically speak.
We are.
Yeah, Kira will just begin speaking.
Orbit. It is us. We are all safe and sound. Plus, we have picked up a couple more passengers. Please meet us at.
She'll give some. Scoot back to the navigator's chair and give some coordinates, and then go back over and relay them so that they have a plot in space that is reasonably debris filled that will they can meet up.
It isn't long before you see a glinting of something.
It's Excalibur on the front of the ship, kind of reaching out with both hands.
Oh, buddy.
Does this have? The question is, does this have hangars big enough to fit the orbiter?
The hangar itself is not going to be big enough to fit the orbiter, although you can dock the orbiter. It does have a docking bay, so you can dock the orbiter on the side of it.
We could kind of umbilical to it.
Very well.
And given how space flight works, you don't need to worry about. You can throw as much shit onto this as you want. It's not really going to hinder its space flight ability.
Right. Neither of these things were vehicles meant to actually land. So
Yeah.
they are largely unconcerned if they are tethered to each other. As long as the only thing is to make sure the orbiter is at such a angle that we can remotely recall the lander to it,
right.
because we may want that back.
And soon enough, you see the orbiter coming your way. And I think as you guys begin talking Excalibur, who is absolutely at the fucking helm.
She's just really carefully watching him over one shoulder.
She's less worried now that we have confirmation on us that he is going to try and fly it into the moon.
Yeah. And as you guys talk Excalibur into the process of docking with this large ship, I'm going to end the session.
Yay!
What do you guys think?
That was nice. It was nice to have a bit more of a wind down.
Yeah.
More of a, all right, let's get back on track and figure out what to, and we'll make things happen.
That's plot.
Kirei was much more worried about what would happen if they continued to be in the void than when they were trying to exit it.
The one thing I was just utterly terrified you were about to say something like, "Can everyone roll transference?" I was just going, "Uh-oh."
Uh-oh.
Oh no, not this.
But no. Nate is a kind and forgiving master.
The scary thing about that is that's one of those things where we don't know if we want to roll well or poorly.
That's a good point.
It'll be like 3 10s.
2 5s. There we go. Right in the middle there.
Okay. Anyone have any thoughts, comments, questions?
Not particularly.
I think we've done quite a bit, and I'm very excited because now we have a larger place to keep all of our friends.
Friends.
It's that fantasy of just owning a mansion and keeping all your friends there and living together and having fun, only in space. Horrible, horrible space.
and it's war everywhere.
You'll find more friends. Maybe we can get some of your old friends to show up. Won't that be a fun time?
Yeah.
Yay.
Everyone gets an experience point.
Yay.
If there are no other questions or comments, though, I'm going to end the broadcast.